Hello chaps! Time to clear a bit of a backlog and talk about some toys which I haven't talked about yet. Here's more stuff, what I done get over the past month that has just sort of eluded any camera time, and it's time to get it out of the way and say some things and give you some opinions. And well, let's get straight into it with Box Dragstrip. You might have seen the build video I did for this guy. You might not have done. It seemed to not get as many views as most other things I do, and I don't blame you really if you're not interested in Constructbots. And I've already done a build video for a previous Constructbot that probably wasn't much interest in there to watch, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, in that video I basically outlined how this is like, oh, 10 out of 10, oh, it's the best Constructbot, and I've had some time to reevaluate that opinion. It's definitely the best when it comes to vehicle mode. This is definitely the one you want if you want one that actually turns into something that looks like it should and is a decent looking alt mode. You know, it fits the character, looks like a race car. It's really nice in that regard. But the robot mode, it's leaving something to be desired for me, to be honest. It's just, there's nothing really that interesting going on here. I mean, yeah, he's got quite a few new parts, and you know, it's Dragstrip, who is, you know, kind of different looking guy. You don't get many yellow and purple bots, but I just don't like all this guff on his arms. He just looks cluttered, and especially with like the big massive bit on his back that makes the front of the race car. If you don't have this M bit in his hand, it takes up loads of space, but I don't really like having that M bit in his hand because it doesn't really look like a weapon, and it's that, I think that is really what this robot mode needs. It needs to be a bit more streamlined, get rid of this stuff and give him some weapons. And I mean, obviously that's very easy to do because A, I've got loads of Constructbots with loads of weapons, and B, these are detachable parts. But yeah, Dragstrip, he's okay. I do still kind of like him, mainly because he's given me parts to go a bit further with making a Constructbots hotshot, but I still am never going to have the right head sculpt for that, so I don't know. He's okay, he's not as great as I thought when I first put him together. Now, skipping ahead a bit and eschewing chronological order for a moment, let's get into my latest Constructbot, and possibly the last one I'm going to get for a while, because I have to say, feeling a bit of Constructbot fatigue. I've had so many in sort of a short space of time that I'm kind of feeling like I need to give it a break, because I've realised that every time that I haven't bought one in like a month, then I've enjoyed that one that has sort of got me back into it. And it's like I had a gap between getting Starscream and Breakdown, and when I got Breakdown, that was just really good. I really liked him because it was like it'd been ages since I had a new Constructbot, and that was good. But since him, it's sort of been a bit up and down, and certainly since I got Cliffjumper and Dead End, it's sort of been, I've been getting one every other week or so, and I'm just sort of feeling like, yeah, I could do with a break from them now. But anyway, here's Thundercracker. He's good. I actually think I like him more than Dragstrip, and you know, this guy's supposed to be cheaper than Dragstrip, and he's, you know, the price point down. Whatever. Yeah, Thundercracker. Things to say about him include him not being a complete repaint of Starscream for once. He's got new wings, and he's got this big long cockpit nose cone piece that like Dead End had, and I don't know, someone else might have had that as well. Yeah, so he has a completely different vehicle mode to Starscream, but of course his robot mode is still pretty much, it's all Starscream's bits in blue and silver. I don't mind, he looks really good. I think there's a lot of colour going on here. I like all the red skeleton that sort of glows forth from underneath all the armour. And I can't unsee the fact that it looks like he's wearing a pair of white Y-fronts. But apart from the colour palette and all that, he's certainly a sort of more decent feeling one again. It just feels like he's got a couple more parts that make him just a little bit better. That same sort of feel that I think I had with Dead End. Just because he's got this big bit on his back and he's got two weapons instead of one, just makes him feel a bit better, just a bit. And these dual submachine guns he's got are proper good. They're like seriously good weapons that just go out any other bot. So again, this is a good Constructbots purchase from the weapon point of view. Another thing to talk about though would be his head. You'll notice it is basically the Starscream head that's painted properly for once. It is actually painted perfectly. I can't see any way to improve this. The silver is really good. The eyes are red and it's all just crisp and perfectly painted, unlike the Starscream head. But one thing, if you look at the box art between Starscream and Thundercracker, this head with the sort of angry sort of grimace is supposed to be Starscream's, and the one with the sort of smirk is supposed to be Thundercracker's. So something obviously went on there that might have led to the fact that Starscream's head didn't get painted properly. I don't know. Either way, now I've got a Thundercracker, I can give Starscream a proper head, but I don't really want to because Thundercracker's better. But yeah, there's Thundercracker. I like him. He's good, but I certainly don't feel like I've really mucked about with him that much, just because it's... Yeah, I'm kind of tired of Constructbots for the time being. Maybe sometime soon I'll get one of the Age of Extinction ones, and that might be a nice sort of refreshing purchase because they're a bit different to this lot. But no, I do still want to get quite a few of the regular ones, but for now I'm putting them aside, and I would much rather focus on some more worthy stuff, like catching up on some Generation stuff or something. Or going further into Age of Extinction, like I have done with the next figure I'm going to show you. I still haven't got to Toys R Us, still haven't seen anything decently worth having, so what I've got to show you here is another slightly questionable purchase, but I've got to say I like it, and after BotCon revealing loads more of these one-step guys, I can see I'm probably going to get quite a few because they honestly do look okay. They look like fun little figures, and they're going to be the only things I'm going to be able to find in a shop. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about BotCon here. I could, but then this video would just be taken up with me just ranting about how the Armada Megatron isn't good enough. So let's skirt around that topic and talk about Up Optimus. Yeah, I got sort of suckered into this one because of the truck mode. I really like this truck. It looked really nice in the package, and it does look really nice, and it's just, I like this new truck design, and there is an element of me buying this just because it is the new truck and I wanted a version of the new Optimus. But I like it. Yeah, I'm not going to say really many bad things about this one-step guy, because I've just had some fun with him, and I generally feel like he was worth having. Yeah, I like the truck. It's made of nice shiny blue plastic, and it's got good detail, and yeah, it's got some arms and legs hanging out the back. I can forgive it, I guess. But the real problem with this is to do with mass. I'm holding this up here, and you can see it, and in your mind, without having handled this, you can probably gauge, if you've bought enough Transformers, you can probably gauge the sort of mass that this figure has, how much it weighs, what it would feel like in your hands, due to the size and shape of it. And certainly, I built up that kind of expectation, and then as soon as I took it out of the plastic of the packaging, that was shattered, and it crumbled down around my ears because this thing weighs about as much as a packet of Quavers. It's just light in a very bad way, and it's something as soon as you feel it properly, without all the packaging around it, that masks the true nature of it and forms an illusory barrier to true perception. Yeah, it sort of made me go, what? As soon as I properly held it, it was like, oh, okay, that weighs a good few ounces less than I was expecting. And the reason for that would be, it's mostly hollow. It's like 90% empty space truck. And that's kind of bad. I mean, I can get that a lot of this under here is to facilitate the way he transforms, but his legs are all hollow, and his feet are hollow, and his back, and it, oh dearie me. The plastic isn't bad, but because so much of it is just thin, it kind of feels proper cheap, and I've got to say, this does feel like the cheapest figure I've ever had, because it's so hollow and plasticky and makes a horrible rattly wheel noise, but I like it nonetheless, and I'm about to show you some reasons as to probably why, because while this truck mode is nice, the real goodness lies in everything else it does. So you press the truck's eyebrows and he all flips open and you get a robot. It's kind of cool. I've never had any activators or any spring-loaded sort of button press Transformers before, so this is my first sort of exposure to that, and it's kind of nice. Just a bit of a shame that the gears sort of don't mesh properly and this side is always flopping about. That might have been because I might have been a bit stupid and put a weapon in his hand in truck mode and then press the button to see if he would then spring open with the weapon in his hand. I think it was just a bit too much weight and I have slightly sheared the mechanism. But there's a cautionary tale. Apart from that, he's good. I like this robot. Yeah, it's objectively bad because his legs don't move. I mean, they sort of wiggle in and out. I don't know if that's just because I need to tighten up the nut in his back, but yeah, his legs sort of do that. They help him to stand up in that regard, I guess. But the only real articulation he's got is his arms, and they move nicely up and down, more than Grimlock's do. So just there, he's already got a little bit more playability than Grimlock did. And then his head actually moves as well, and that was a nice little bonus. I wasn't expecting that. Just something sort of, I mean, it's a really small touch, isn't it? But it's just something nice that makes it feel like they put a tiny smidgen more of effort into this. And then he's got 5mm hands, so you can go and give him like decent guns and like swords or whatever you want to kit him out with that you have lying around that's 5mm, and that's nice. That just adds so much more playability, and yeah, 5mm hands for the win. It's just nice. He doesn't come with any weapons, he doesn't need any weapons, but it's nice that you can give him some. So yeah, this little Optimus, I quite like him. He is rather nice. I've certainly had some fun with him. But I don't know. Looking at this, regarding it as the new design for the movie Optimus, I'm not really sure what to think about the design itself. I mean, of course, rendered in this little instantaneous transforming package, it's kind of, you know, watered down and you can't really take it at properly face value. I mean, on screen it looks kind of good, I guess, from the trailers, but I can't help but think it's everything that the first movie Optimus was sort of stopped from being, because back then they said, well, we've got to have so much vehicle stuff on show that we'll be able to make decent toys of it that look vaguely accurate, and they were stopped from doing things like the wheels unravelling and all this weird deformation of parts that wouldn't have been physically possible in a toy. Now we've got Age of Extinction Optimus, and it feels like they've disregarded all of that. It feels like Hasbro have just gone, yeah, we've had 7 years of doing movie toys, we know now that we can't do them properly accurately and we're going to have to cheat somewhere, so there you go lads, you might as well go mental and make him a really weird design that has absolutely no truck kibble on it anywhere. Because I mean, the toys have got plenty of truck kibble, this guy seems to have a little bit less than most, but you look at it on screen, it's like, there are no wheels, there are no windows. What's going on? Where are all the truck parts? How does he transform? I don't get it, and I don't really think I like it in that regard because it doesn't look like a transformer. There's no hard angles, no windows on his chest, there's no wheels on his legs, it's just ambiguous mechanical parts that look a bit too organic, and I'm not sure I really like that. I mean, it looks cool, yeah, but it kind of looks off somehow, and okay, while it's the sort of possible ultimate expression of what you could do with a Transformer on screen, I'm just not sure I really dig it, because it's like, now it's made me appreciate the old Optimus design, pointing at there because I've got the previous like movie Optimus somewhere on the shelf. I'm just sort of made to appreciate that more now, because that one's got wheels and windows and you can see where the truck bits go, and it just looks really cool from that perspective of where they've managed to put the vehicle bits. And after having 7 years of that design, I really like that now, and I can really appreciate it, and I do genuinely love the movie Optimus design that we had from 2007, and every time that's on screen I adore looking at it. This, I'm not sure I'm gonna enjoy that much, because it's a bit like, it's just sort of soft and too ambiguous for me. I mean, you've got flames on some bits of him, and that's about all that you can sort of tell that might be vehicle bits, apart from the smokestacks on his shoulders, or maybe in some shots you can see the lights that go on the top of the truck on like his sides, but that's it. That's all I can see of truck stuff, and that just feels bad, and because they've just overcomplicated things to the point where we're not going to get any decently accurate toys of it. But there you go, there's my 2 pence about the new movie Optimus. This might end up being the only version of it I get, because I don't really want to try to afford the leader one. I mean, that looks good, but I'd rather have a Voyager, and it doesn't look like we're going to get one, so I don't know. So that's your lot for June, I think. There's a very slim chance I might get anything else in the sort of 5 days towards the end of the month, but I don't think that's going to happen. So that's your lot for this month. Don't know what I'm going to get next month. I've been eyeing up a few things, but it all depends on funds and whatever. Lots of different factors are starting to abide in my mind. One of them being quality over quantity, because I mean everything I've shown you in this video has sort of been stuff that I probably didn't need to get and could have saved my money and got something properly decent like Rhinox or Whirl or something. Until we meet again.